The main reasons I came here was the Yale system. I had taken like 2 years off between undergrad and coming to Yale, so I really had gotten out of the whole frame of mind of being an undergrad and being like, you have to do this at this time, you have to take this test on this day, in which case you need to study exactly these 7 pages. And then with Yale system, because you don't have like the constant worry of tests like every other day, like some med schools or whatever, if you want to spend more time on neoplasia, you can do that. If you, consequently, you don't want to spend a lot of time on neoplasia, you can do that too. And then also, by having that, I think that it also helps you integrate things more, because you can say, oh, well, back to neoplasia, you can say, well, oh, this is what happens with neoplasia, and then how does it affect this other disease process that I was studying in physiology 2 months ago. And you have time to really develop that on your own if you like. And then on top of that, by also not having so many deadlines and etc., you can also like have time to do other things outside of school. Like, I'm coordinator for HPrep. I'm trying to rebuild a program, and that is very time consuming, but at the same time I'm still being a good med student. You make the time, you make the time to study, but then you have enough time to play and be a person outside of being Susie Q med student, which is it kind of negates your humanity when all you do is study and take tests and stay up all night and etc. And I also think it's a healthier way to go about this. I mean, treating you as a whole person, treating you as, a person that directs their own knowledge and their own learning. Treating you as an adult. So that's what I really enjoy about that. One thing I like about Yale is that you get a chance to learn in action. One of those places is going through like preclinical clerkship, PCC, that we call it. Once a week we go and we sit with preceptors. So usually you get 2 per group, and it's 4 students to 2 preceptors, and you're in the hospital, you're going to see their patients with them, you're doing physical exams, you're taking histories. And this is something that sets Yale apart, because most schools you don't get to see patients until your 3rd year, and I'm a first year, and I can say that I know what tactile primitus is, and I have perform certain aspects of the physical exam that my counterparts at other schools have not. And I think that it's really hard to just push someone out into 3rd year into the wards without having a sort of preamble that we get here at Yale in the 1st year by doing PCC. There's also bedside to bench, which you can go and do peds and do a similar process. And then there's so many programs within Yale, like Haven, which is like a free clinic that they do on Saturdays, and then that's also a chance to actually, you have real patients, you're doing the physical exam, you're taking a history on them, and it's just invaluable. I mean, another thing, yesterday, a guy passed out on the street corner when we were going to class in the Andean Center, and I was so surprised that, at the action of, our class as a whole, people started doing CPR, someone went and got a doctor, of course someone called 911 as well, and, things, getting that knowledge early, like a lot of people it's not enough to get that knowledge in survival week right before 3rd year starts. That should be something that started within 1st and 2nd year, because at the end of the day, every day looking at the mechanism of diabetes is not going to help you, even if that is kind of something that you specialize in as a physician. You need to know how to interact with patients. Our main thing is really to go out there in the community and make an impact to decrease the levels of HIV in this city, because as a med student, this is important to me. As a person in this community, this is important to me. And I think Yale, with all of its resources, who better well, who better than the Yale medical students to help the city? I mean, it's right there. It's right outside your window. It's right there that you walk past every day. And HIV is such a big problem here that, you know, we would be remiss if it was not one of the #1 issues. And, you know, restarting Hip Core has really given me a vector to channel this energy to make this happen. And, you know, it's something that I can pass on, you know, once the incoming class comes in, and then also for the future. I mean, this is something that's really important, HIV in New Haven. And it's one of those main health issues, and something that we can really affect. You can change, you know, how people think about things if you're willing to go out into the community, if you're willing to go and spend your time and say, hey, HIV is a big deal here. You know, this is important to me, this is important to you. Let's work together to fix this, you know, and we can.